Hey friends, thanks for tuning into my channel. Today's video I have owed you all for a couple of months. Back a few months ago I did the Whole30 and I did film several videos and I shot out some information to you guys about how I prepared for it and why I was doing it. And so I never came back and talked with you about my results and my experience with Whole30. So first I want to talk about the non-scale victory. So the first non-scale victory that I experienced with Whole30 was radiant skin. After about a week and a half, I could literally see the difference in my skin. I did not change my face routine as far as the cleanser and the method that I use to cleanse my face in the morning and at night. I didn't change any of that. But I could still see, after washing my face, before putting on any moisturizer or any type of makeup, I could still see the difference. So, Whole30 was great for my skin. I just could see the glow. And the only reason for it was because I had changed my diet. The second non-scale victory is that doing Whole30 helped me to develop great daily habits. If you're familiar with Whole30, you know you don't eat any processed food on that particular food regimen. So the only way to eat good food and enjoy it in most cases is to cook. For one, it helped me to get in the habit of cooking almost daily. I'm single with no children, and so I don't have to feed anyone except for myself on a daily basis. And although I know how to cook for people, I don't normally cook every day. But after doing Whole30, I got into the habit of cooking every day, and that's a great thing because I enjoyed it, and it encouraged me to save money, and that's a habit that I developed during Whole30 that has stayed with me even though I've been off of it for a couple of months now. And with that came a better daily schedule, better use of time, because I knew that if I'm gonna stick with this and I'm going to cook my own foods every day, I'm gonna have to have a tighter schedule. If I was gonna include cooking with everything else that I have to do in my regular weekly routine, I knew I had to make some schedule adjustments, and I did. And they were good schedule adjustments that have stayed with me since doing Whole30. Another daily habit that was a non-scale victory was reinforcing drinking more water. I'm already a water fanatic and I drink it a whole lot anyway because I love water. I have water with me pretty much everywhere I go, to the point where sometimes it's like a little ridiculous. I digress. So Whole30 did wonders for my daily habits. I noticed on Whole30 that I was full or satisfied faster, and I could really, like clockwork, anticipate when I would be hungry, and I already knew what I was going to eat. Because of the lack of eating sugar and other things, because I wasn't eating those types of things, I would be satisfied. I didn't feel like full to the point where I was uncomfortable, but satisfied, and that satisfaction would last a lot longer than if I were eating starchier foods, processed foods, or even, foods that we cook, but still they have a lot of sugar in them. I felt satisfied more quickly. I could eat smaller portions, and I could anticipate when I would be hungry again, and I already knew what I was going to eat. Another non-scale victory was that I discovered so many easy recipes of foods, fruits, and vegetables that I already liked, but I just usually ate them a certain way, unless maybe I was out at a restaurant or over to someone's home for dinner and they prepared it a different way. It made me actually go and discover new ways to prepare fresh vegetables that I enjoy, such as eggplant and zucchini and rutabagas and butternut squash. Those are all things that I like anyway, that I've had before. But being on Whole30 really helped me to get creative and helped me to actually take the time out to research recipes that were new but really tasty and healthy. I'm still trying new things with fruits and vegetables and lean meats, and because I've discovered, you know, websites and apps and books that give such great ideas that can be done in a short amount of time. So I'd say another non-scale victory of Whole30 was just feeling more motivated in general. Every day I felt like I could get a little bit more done than I was able to in the past. Yeah, I felt a lot more motivated and a lot more productive when I was doing Whole30. And then another non-scale victory is clearer thinking. There's a certain level of brain fog that comes for me when I eat foods that have high levels of sugar in them. When I'm not eating properly, in a lot of cases just not eating enough. I don't realize it at the time because I'm still functioning and I'm still going about doing things that I need to do. But on the other side of being on the Whole30 regimen, I could tell, like, oh my gosh, I was able to get that done a lot more quickly. Or I was so much more motivated to do that, and I was able to decide what steps I needed to take and get that done. It's just, I noticed that my thinking was a lot more clear. And one more is that I noticed my digestive health was better. I noticed once I got into the mid to late 20s era that I just could not eat certain things and go to sleep. I did not experience the indigestion or the heartburn or any of those things that I don't have all the time, but sometimes I do experience, especially with certain foods that have a lot of sugar in them. So yeah, that was definitely a non-scale victory worth mentioning. And so now for the big reveal of the scale victory. Those of you who are familiar with Whole30 know you're not supposed to step on the scale throughout the 30 days. You get on the scale right before you start it so you can be aware of what your weight is at the time. And then for some people you may do measurements and such. I didn't do the measurements, but I did get on the scale before I started it. And I just didn't worry about it throughout the time that I was doing it. And when I got on the scale at the end of the 30 days, I had lost 10 pounds. At this point, it's about 3.5 months or so later. Of that 10 pounds, I have probably gained and lost 3 of those pounds on and off throughout the past semester. So I am on the downward road at this point as far as weight goes. I've lost those 3 pounds again. I liked the whole detoxing of sugar. I liked that. As I've gotten older, I'm a lot more health conscious. I just like to feel good and I like to be able to do the things that I need to do efficiently and with joy. And I know that, you know, this body that we live in is temporary and it breaks down in certain ways, but by the grace of God, the things that we can do to take care of our temples, not to worship them or make idols out of them, but to bring them under the submission to God and present, you know, our bodies a living sacrifice. For me, that includes taking care of my temple. Am I always 100% on top of it? Absolutely not. But for the most part, I really do try to take care of myself. And I felt like Whole30 was something great that I did for myself, and I'm preparing to do it again. So I thought now was a good time to make good on my promise to share with you guys my experience with Whole30. I will link the Whole30 program in the description box, as well as the previous videos telling you guys why I was doing it and how I was preparing for it. So if you're interested in seeing those will be there as well. Yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've done Whole30 before and what your experience was, or if you're thinking about doing it and maybe you have some questions that you want to ask me about my experience that I did not share here. I look forward to answering those questions and comments, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.